Yes, got it. Shanti Pat over. अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ Hari Om Swamiji. Feel very lucky to be part of this online study, which helped me do this study regularly and helps me grow. Can't thank Swamiji enough. With reference to attitudes and values, I see many changes. I seem to have developed dhairya and acceptance of people and situations. I have become more adaptive to changes and even to uncomfortable developments around me. Good. You see, incapacity to change is because of our insistences, strong likes and dislikes. And capacity to change is vairagya. Capacity to adapt, capacity to accept people what they are is vairagya. One of the definition of vairagya is adrada raga dveshavatvam. Not have a status of not having strong likes and dislikes. That is vairagya. So that you develop this is a process of growth, and that will help you to be objective. You grow to be little indifferent. There is no insistence to people and others to be like this only. You can leave them to be what they are. Okay, that's a good sign. And as the study takes place, you will keep growing because your perspective about the things, the way of looking at the things will change substantially, and that change will make you free. That's a freedom. Changes I want to see in me is this. And that there is a prayer in Gujarati, let mana, mother, self-demanding. Mana means demanding self-respect. Mother is a haughtiness or little arrogance that I am somebody. And how can I avoid that mana, mother? Given the background and certain values, it's difficult to contain this pride specifically. True, certain background means childhood background, the way one is brought up, where the parents behaved, where the parents treated you, where the society, your relatives gave you values, this becomes inculcated or ingrained in our mind. And to avoid that pride and things like that, it's always better to think in a bigger perspective. Look at others, what they have achieved, and still they are fairly humble, fairly simple. You see, to go a little deeper, which may not be may not be true in your case. When one demands respect, what happens? Just analyze. When we are given respect, what happens? You feel better. You feel you are somebody. One feels I am okay. I am somebody. That when the respect is given. That means without that respect, I don't see myself as self-acceptable. Without that respect, I don't see myself as somebody. That means I am not accepting myself. When there is non-acceptance about the self, there is a possibility of demanding respect. You know, to enjoy respect is one thing. You enjoy it sometimes. It's fun sometimes. You become celebrity suddenly. You become VIP. It's fun. But then that should not add to my self-esteem. I am what I am. So, self-esteem means self-acceptance. I accept myself with limitations. I love myself as I am. I am happy with being what am I today. And true, I may work to have some different position or some different level of growth, etc. That's fine. But then self-acceptance is necessary. Self-respect or self-love is necessary with limitations. This is what I have. And I have achieved quite a few things. What I don't have, that list is infinite. What I have is enough to feel content, if you look at that way. And what I don't have, it is endless to feel discontent. So you have to see that grace, that some unseen hand brought you to this position. Some grace brought you to this family, the spouse, the children, the job. Something just unseen hands drove you. First day I had requested you to, I led you to the meditation, that think of yourself when you were 5, etc. And now when you write yourself that help me grow, can't thank Swamiji enough. So you are great. God brought you to this, and you are speechless to what you have. You don't have words to thank me. Ultimately to the knowledge, ultimately to the tradition, the Guru Parampara. I also am not the author of what I am talking to you. The knowledge has been given to my teachers and the Shastras. So something which you cannot talk about in words has been given to us to come in contact with Swamiji. And you have seen me, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago. At that time, you did not know this is this Swami. The Swami that you know today and the Swami that you knew when you were a kid is a different Swami. And there were so many with you, boys and girls who were coming to me, but hardly 2, 3 of you are connected with me in this sense, connected to me in a sense of student, in a sense of learning. This is the core person that I am. This is all, you can say, satellite capacities that I do, additional thing I did. So it's a grace. You are gifted. Feel happy. Feel content. Feel blessed. Feel chosen. You are chosen. Then why you need respect from all these Johnnies, the small people? When God himself, Jagat Karta, Narayan, brought you to this knowledge, moksha, just be happy. You have to work on it. This is all upbringing. family values, because we are of this caste, we are of this family. Those values unknowingly inculcated in childhood. To be proud of something is one thing, and to have a pride about that thing is different. Then again, Atma Gaurav, Gujarati say, Atma Gaurav is one thing. It's good. One should have value for one's own lineage, this, that. That gives you maryada, family that I belong to. Even you can claim the teacher that I belong to. That gives a maryada. That makes the person responsible. But then, develop a pride, that means you're demanding respect. That's altogether different. Feel proud about what you have. Feel content about it. And garva, this ego, will go only by knowledge. So, more you study, it will help you slowly. It gets melted. With reference to studies, I find difficult in focusing on a subject. My mind keeps getting off. Please give some guidance which help me to be more contemplative in my studies and focus on important subject, that's self-knowledge. Hari Om Pranam. The best means to focus, well-tested means, well proven, not now but for generations, is doing japa. Form a habit of doing japa. Whatever mantra you are doing, or you can take a guru mantra from me if you wish, but form a habit regularly at a regular time. And incapacity to focus or mind that wanders hither and thither is natural for the mind. Okay? Chanchalam hi manaha. Arjuna also had the same question. And Bhagavan confirmed it is like that. Asamshayam mahabaho manodur nigraham chalam. Not only it's chanchalam, but it's very difficult to master the mind. It's a very, very, very slow process. You have to own up that, and it grows upon you slowly. So, do form a habit of doing japa, it will help you. And second means is vairagya. Abhyasena tu kaunteya vairagyena cha grahyate. This passion. And vairagya means becoming free from the holds of likes and dislikes. Not being driven by my likes and dislikes. In other words, not being so insistent. Hurts and this wishes to achieve something keeps the mind wandering. Either Dvesha born or Raga born. You are out of the focus. So, more they become loose, likes and dislikes, more you learn to adapt, you will be more focused. You yourself would discover. Now, when you say, I am developing dhairya, I am learning to accept the situation, even if unpleasant, even if uncomfortable. That shows that you have more focus. Unnecessary mind doesn't get into those petty things, those trivial things, those small things. Mind is out of it. And that will help you, and you will keep growing. As you continue study, unknowingly you will grow. You will not even notice the growth. And when you look back after a year or two, oh my God, that was I. You wonder that. That's a beauty, greatness of the Shastra. That will help you. Yeah. This one is in Gujarati, so I will translate sentences. We are thankful to you that you are helping us regularly for our spiritual journey and give us an opportunity to analyze ourselves. You forced us to look at ourselves. You had asked us 3 questions, and I'm trying to reply all the 3. 1, I had begun my spiritual journey right from the childhood along with my parents. This person who has written, the person's parents were my students, studying from me in Gita way back in 84, 85, 86, 87. So you can say almost 35 years ago. This person might be 10, 12 years old then. So I am grateful to Bhagavan for this opportunity that I started climbing the ladder of spiritual growth right from childhood. When I remember my olden days, and I compare that I and this I, the person today, the person then, I see a lot of differences. My wrong beliefs, my attitudes, my behavior, and my perspective about the subjective perspective about the world and my personal goals were totally different. I see that now. I was very strong opinionated about myself. I had very strong opinion about the world as well. How come there is so much of difference among the human beings in terms of money, wealth, resources, knowledge? Why there is inequality everywhere? Why each one has different type of upbringing, different kind of parentage, different kind of culture, attitudes? All these questions were there in my mind. And I always kept on repenting about my mistakes of the past. All that was my tendency. And then always I was worried about my future. I was having strong opinions about people and was trying to change them. And because of that, I ended up always being unhappy than what I am today. So this is an answer that more, Swami Dayanji very nicely said, often used to say, to the extent you let the people be what they are, to that extent you are free. So that applies to the world also. To the extent you let the world be what it is, to that extent you are free. True, we may have an ideal world. We may have a sort of proper, vision about the proper world. But then it is always improper also. There is something proper, something improper, something good, something bad, something I like, something I don't like. It is good to accept. But as I kept growing in my spiritual journey, attending classes and satsang, then slowly my perspective or my vision about my life, about Yeshwara, about the world kept changing. Slowly I became more clear about my goal, and slowly I grew out of my pain about my mistakes of the past and my anxiety of the future. I learned to enjoy the present. I'm happy in the present. And with humility, with folded hands, I have learned to accept the situations that I meet with in my life. This is my past karma phalas, and I'm enjoying it to accept it. Maja aave. And I am able to see the law of karma and karma phala, or the role of Ishwara, the order in our life. Now about question 2 and 3, I feel that there are so many changes that I need to bring about in myself. This is good. That's the purpose of teaching. Or you would say purpose of satsanga. Any satsanga you do, that you become clear about your goals, values, attitudes, about your insistences, about your relationships, about your reactions, actions. You learn what's a proper way of doing and what's improper way of doing. What's a proper way of looking at it? What's an improper way of looking at it? You learn that as you grow. That's the purpose of satsanga. You know, true, there is a Vakya in Shastra that Satsanga is a great punya and your dukkhas will be removed, etc. That is working, but more than that, what works is you change. This world remains same. We were overreactive, over anxiety, over pain, over hurts, all that you learn to resolve and you learn to see the situations objective. And when you see Ishwara in the life, you become more relaxed. You become more content. You are more at home with yourself when you see this. So it helps. That's good. Sometimes people ask, Swamiji, am I growing in my satsanga? Does it work with me? Yes, it is working with you. When you are relatively free from hurts and guilts and anxieties and insistencies and etc., when your perspective changes, that means you are growing. And keep growing. As I said, it's a very slow process. You have to have patience. Bhagavan mentions this twice in the 6th chapter. When he talks about meditation and growth, he is telling twice. Okay? Buddhya dhriti gruhitaya atma samstam manah krutva nakinchidapi chintayet. Sanishchayena yoktavya yogo anirvinna chetasa. So that's good. I feel there are few changes I need to bring about. Rather than what your Aham Brahmasmi, to see this thing, to see the truth in day-to-day experiences. That's what I need to achieve. More so, the relation between Jeev, Jagat and Ishwar, I am not much clear about it. If the clay and the pot is same, because both are nothing but clay. So, also, Jiva Jagat, like the clay with reference to pot, Jiva and Jagat are made up of Panch Mahabhutas. And then, so also, another example, like there is only one water, one H2O in the ocean. There are many waves. So also everything is made up of Panch Mahabhutas. Now the question is, where from these Panch Mahabhutas came? If Ishwar created all of them, then he manifests in everything, then how can you say creation and creator are one? Just as the pot and the pot maker are different. It's true. See, there are two causes for creation. One is a material cause. What you're talking is a material cause. Clay is a material cause. Panchamahabhuta, you can say, is a material cause. That material cause and the thing that is created out of it cannot be separate. You cannot have a pot without clay. You cannot have a cloth without cotton. So that's a material cause. It cannot be away. So also what you rightly said, it is Panch Mahabhutas is a material cause, but they themselves are not material cause. Panch Mahabhutas are created. Created by what? Prakriti. That we talk in Panchadashi or Maya. Maya belongs to whom? Maya comes from whom? So just see the sequence. World is Pancha Bhautikam, but bhutas are created by Prakriti, therefore they are not separate from Prakriti. Just as the world is not separate from Pancha Mahabhutas, So also Panch Mahabhutas are not separate from Prakriti. So Akash, Vayu, Agni, everything has a Triguna, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas gunas. They are there. But they come from Prakriti, and Prakriti comes from whom? Prakriti belongs to Ishvara. The existence of Prakriti or Maya and the sentiency of Prakriti or Maya belongs to Ishvara, who is Nimittakar, who is all-knowing. From this standpoint, Ishvara is Upadana Karanam as well. In a way, Maya is Upadana. But Maya Dakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam Hetuna Neva Kaunteya Jagat Pariviparivartate. Maya Dakshana. No? So, Prakriti is wielded by Ishvara. And it cannot exist, much less it can do anything without Ishvara. Therefore, the Ishvara, which is omniscient, omnipotent, Sarvagna, Sarvashaktiman, like the pot maker, becomes the clay as well, the Upadana Karan as well. Maya Upahita Ishvara Upadana. Maya is Upadana Karanam, and Ishvara, the Sarvagna, is Nimitta Karanam. So, these bhutas have come. Your question is, where from Panchamahabhutas have come? They have come from Prakriti or Maya. And Maya is not independent of Ishvara. It cannot exist, much less it can function independent of Ishvara. Only when it is blessed by Ishvara, Maya can work. Exactly like, in a similar example to clarify, your dream world is also Panchabhautikam. Those Panchamahabhutas come from whom? You happen to have creative power. When the mind is half asleep, you have power to project. That Shakti to project is called Prakriti. And all Panchamahabhutas ultimately come from your Prakriti, your projecting power, your creative power. You have a capacity to create a dream. But that Shakti to create a dream, it does not exist independent of you. It is because of you, and it is enlivened, it is made sentient, it is activated to create the dream world also because of you only. So, you are in a way Upadana Karanam as well. Okay? So, this is how it is. Now the goal of the life is to understand the meaning of Tattvamasi and own it up. In this world, physical, another goal is there. In this world, when the people are at pains, I want to own up this vision and spread this message to others. Help people who are suffering because of physical and psychological issues, guide them and make them free or relieved from pain which they have. Good. Again, I am thankful to you, and because of in this busy life schedule, you gave us opportunity to do some nididhyasana. Good. Keep doing, and I'm happy. Your attitude is really good. That speaks of empathy. That is a compassion that you have, and you want to work to remove or alleviate the pain of others. That's a good thing. But just a note of caution. Draw a boundary. The whole world is full of pain and agonies. And you cannot help everybody. So better help yourself. You be strong And simultaneously, you can continue helping him, others, but need to have some time management and some emotional management also. To be oversensitive and to get too much carried away by the pains of others may distract you from the study also. So just have certain boundaries to begin with, and you are free to it. You will be able to manage it. Otherwise, empathy may eat you away. You may feel so much of sad and pain, agony and pain, seeing or feeling others' pain and agony. And rather than discovering Ananda, you will discover Aham Mahadukhi. So have some boundary and then work. Nothing wrong in it. It's good. This attitude is good. Now, yesterday I took the question, but the person was not there. Today I see that person in the class. So I'll address that question and we'll complete. After a year of study with you, I notice I am more aware of my likes and dislikes. And even though they come across intensely, I can work with them so that I can be more accepting of challenging situations in my life, reminding myself that every single thing occurs according to Yeshwara's law. It's a blessings you have. Okay? If you're able to do that, or if at all you are not able to do that, you're committed to do that, that's a blessing. So continue doing that. Try seeing the order of Yeshwara. You will be more happy. You will be more free. And that one, which this another person who was not there, the change fund first uplifts rest of the week and keeps clarity, repurpose. Grateful for live classes, especially during Corona. Satsanga from Swami special. Person has written bullet points, This is like a note, official note in the office. They used to write reports. This has come as one of the report. Anyway, good, whatever it is, that is good. Then improve is discipline, observing thoughts, pulse, perspective, being more alive to facts. That is good. I did not elaborate the points. That's okay. See, this bring in Ishvara. You'll be more relaxed to do all this. Accept Ishvara. Accept Ishvara's order. Then it will be enough easy, even the thoughts, even certain thought patterns, even certain reactions, certain memories, certain anxieties of future, certain ambitions and plans, or certain complaints about the present life, your life, societal life, etc. you may have. That is also a part of the order. See that as an order and accept it and proceed. It's all the psychological order. It has to do with your upbringing in childhood. It has to do with the society in which you live. It has to do the way you interpreted the situations or experiences of your life in the past. There is certain programming taken place in the mind, and you look at the world in a certain way. It's okay. That's a psychological order. Now, if you find that this program needs to change, work for change. It was a programming, we made it to our pattern of thinking, our attitudes, our values. Now, if you feel like changing it, work it out. And mind being what it is, it will take time to change. So don't get into fighting mode. in the name of so much of discipline. I have to do that, like a strict teacher, taskmaster. Don't be that. Just be relaxed. Be relaxed and work for it. And this will help you, as I said, bring in Yeshwara. See Yeshwara, accept it as a prasada. See as a grace of Yeshwara. Whatever it is, it's a grace. And as I mentioned in the earlier part, that you are brought to this. You are brought to, quote unquote, on the path of infinity. You are brought to the discovery of limitless self. So gain is infinite. And had you not come to this vision or study, you would have missed the infinity. And the loss also would have been infinite. True, as of now, there is no limitless gain. Till you discover the self, the limitless gain is not there. But then you are on the way. You are in the process. And there is an assurance from Ishvara that you will be led to. You will continue this journey. So accept that. Accept the people as they are. Accept the situation. That's right. I have to, as they say, there is no free lunch in this world. So for this, you may have to pay for something. Pay it. That's fine. It is always going to be there, as I mentioned in someone's question yesterday. While remembering our pain in the past, why me, there will be always a feeling. Somebody betraying your trust, or somebody mistreating you, or somebody exploiting you, or somebody not understanding you, not seeing your perspective, or some situation which you wanted and you just didn't get it. You couldn't fulfill your ideals, you couldn't fulfill your goals, you didn't have the life that you visualized to have, ideal life, certain standards you set for it. It's okay, I couldn't have it. So what can you do about it? One way or other, you will have to have some dukkha. The very definition of this Manushya Janma is Sukha Dukkhadi Bhoga Ayatana. You get away from this, you will end up in something else. It's always going to be there. So it's a great blessing. And now, I don't know how about you discover or not. But now when you study for a length of time, I guess you have some insight. When you're writing Satsanga from Swami special, what is the speciality? The clarity is special. And the speciality is discovered because you develop special intellect to appreciate that. It's a grace. You keep listening to different Swamis, and you feel everybody is same. You think they're talking the same thing. But they're talking the same thing. They are not teaching the same thing. You see the difference? To talk is one thing. To communicate is another thing. And when there is a teacher doing satsanga, you grow. Grow in terms of clarity. You grow in terms of your subtlety. You grow in terms of your vision. You grow in terms of your own fallacies about your own old values, attitudes, way of looking at things, your perspective. That's a growth. You grow. So, to come across this teaching, and as I just mentioned, it's not me. The whole tradition is that I'm a gifted person. I got this. Then I came across quite a few people where you live, and I tell everybody to join classes. But you only continue, like there are a few of you are continuing. That's a grace. And that being a case, accept it. Okay? Accept this is how it is. The facts are like this. Our goal, our attention should be focused on the study, making the vision more clear. To own up the knowledge, to live this knowledge, No, that should be our goal rather than focusing on what people are and what others are. Well, like to discuss it is 8 points, which each one taking half an hour. I have to take 4 hour class. Anyway, I'll go through some of them briefly. And should you want to know more, you can call me, take my time personally, and we'll discuss. Okay. So you have my number and send me the message. Will have some mutual time. Chidabhasa, like to discuss about Chidabhasa using mirror example. Well, you have to call me for that. What you mean, you have to elaborate. Discipline, refocusing on goal. How this works in Buddhi, Manas definition. Again, when you say you're refocusing on goal, what was your old goal? You have to discuss with me personally. Confirm the Buddhi always decides, so it allows, permits the Manas to go where it wants to. Manas cannot guide behavior itself. No, I don't conform to that. The Manas, mind, what you in English call mind, in Sanskrit we call Buddhi and Manaha. It is a seat of reactions also, instincts also, pulls also. Quite often, Buddhi is supposed to decide, supposed to permit, supposed to allow, but the mind to go where it wants to. But quite often, mind doesn't ask Buddhi. And Buddhi doesn't notice also where it goes and how it goes. So, and being sometimes so strong, mind guides your behavior, not only behavior, but it creates a behavior pattern also. That Kathopanishad, we have a simile that Buddhi is, the life is equated to a chariot. Sense organs are, horses are like a sense organs. Mind is reins, Buddhi is a charioteer, and the chariot is a body. And the Jivatma individual is a Ratha Swami, the owner, master sitting in the back seat. Sometimes horses go around by itself, driven by their likes and dislikes, without consulting mind or Buddhi. Sometimes mind goes by itself without consulting Buddhi. And Buddhi also doesn't notice that for few reasons. And it says free. It's on its own. It has developed certain patterns of thinking, certain patterns of conducting itself. So, in fact, this is the problem in meditation. You start meditation, you decide to sit quiet, or you decide to focus yourself on the particular mantra or japa, but the mind runs away. And suddenly you discover that it ran away. Then you call it back. That too after some time. That shows Buddhi is not in control all the time. The master seems to be sleeping. Master seems to be somewhere else, lost somewhere else, and doesn't look into what it is supposed to look into. So that's not true. Mind goes out of itself, and even in Nididhyasana, etc., the problem is emotional problems. You cannot bypass the emotions, and those emotions only they are like hijackers. They hijack the mind. And for a length of time, and having wandered somewhere, and suddenly it comes back. Suddenly you remember Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna, Shri Krishna. That is without consultation. It is exactly like I tell to these parents, Indian parents, in the name of freedom, they give lot of permissiveness, attitude of permissive to children. They don't question the children, what are doing, and they don't make them responsible. And suddenly, when they get into university, and then suddenly parent discovers, oh my God, the child is too much for us. Takes too much of freedom, he is living a licentious life and things like that they discover. But it is not one day happening. It has grown upon him. You have to make them accountable, make them feel that you are answerable to parents. Sometimes you should deny them. They should know that parents have authority to deny. Not that I want means I want and you have to give means you have to give. No, not that. You have an authority to deny. They are accountable, they are responsible, they are answerable to you. If that is there in the mind at a younger age, from teenage to younger age, they will feel responsible. They will know that we are answerable to our parents. That kind of awareness will be there. But mind from childhood has been let loose. So it doesn't have accountability. It doesn't have responsibility that I am answerable to Buddhi. It thinks it's my right to move around. And that's why it grows. And in some cases, it's so strong that they cannot handle it because habit. Buddhi should question every emotions and movements of the mind, which was not done, now it's difficult to do. Where is Chitta? The chariot metaphor. See, I told other day, Antakaranam can be looked as in a four ways. It is same Antakaranam. But there are four types. Antakaranam is basically a vritti prava, the flow of thoughts. And these thoughts are of four types. And according to the nature of these thoughts, it has been given new name, Buddhi, Manas, Chittam, Ahankar. Buddhi means when you have thoughts of decision, inference, abstraction, three-dimensional thinking, all that knowledge, this is all called Buddhi. At that time, Manas or Antakaranam is called as Buddhi. Emotions, doubts and volitions, instincts, reactions, we call it Manas. Memory and Chintanam, Kartu Chittam, etc. is Chittam. And one who owns of all this is Buddhi or Ahankara. Sometimes rather than four, there are only two categories are used, mind and Buddhi. That means Ahankara is included in Buddhi. When you say Buddhi, it means Buddhi and Ahankara. Chittam is included in mind, Manaha. When you say Manas, that includes Chittam as well. Okay. Discuss that Rajas and Tamas are needed and are not bad. Depends on which guna predominates. Is this true? If sattva dominant, rajas being useful thought into action, tamas useful in that it provides stability. Again, there is a bullet points in questions also. Okay. They are not bad. Nothing is bad. Even tamas is necessary. Sometimes you need to take rest. It is only because of tamas you are able to sleep. Think of yourself that you are not able to sleep. You would have been worn out in 4 or 5 days, incapacitated to do anything. So it's good. Tamas is necessary. Rajas is also necessary, part of the game, part of the structure, part of Ishwara Srishti. We don't say bad, but useful and obstructive. If sattva is predominant, it will be useful for you to gain the knowledge or own up the knowledge. And if rajas is predominant, it will be obstructing to the knowledge, pursuit of knowledge. Why? Because rajas is being extrovert, activity, ambition, respect, etc. And sattva is purely introvertedness, seeking knowledge, seeking this dhairyam, etc. So it will be obstructive. So also tamas would be obstructive. Okay? Nothing is bad. Discuss that rajas and tamas are needed and not bad. Depends on which guna predominates. Is this true? Panchamahabhutas are from Prakriti. Prakriti is Trigunatmika, so they all have three gunas. Okay? All the Pancha, there is a Sattvika, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, Akasha, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, Vayu, etc. And when you say they are needed and not bad, I agree with you. Which guna predominates? If Sattva predominates, you will be contemplative and introvert. If Rajas predominates, you will be with likes, strong likes and dislikes and achievement orientation, etc. Tamas will be slothfulness, sluggishness, inertia, laziness, all will be tamas. Nothing is bad. Now, tamas useful that it provides stability, and rajas is brings about useful thought into action. Good. It's nice, nothing wrong with it. I think this also you need to discuss personally. Pramanas need understand. It's not a question, but I guess it's an expression. Understand pramana needs to be operated for knowledge to take place. And give more details or explanation. Think in Tarka Samgraha and whatever it is. We will discuss about pramana personally and can give more details, and I can give you those details in some other class or when you call me personally. This we are done with those reflections. Whatever you gave me, some of them still have to develop capacity to adopt at least right reflection. In spite of my telling, they feel shy to write. It's okay. It will be good for you and you listen to what I say. Yes, I'm done. Om Purnamadah Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.